On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
You're here for a treatment. We are your massage therapist for the evening.
Yes, we are. What would you like? Would you like a deep tissue?
A bone rattler?
Oh my God. I want my hips taken off like a Barbie.
Just snapped right before we started recording. I've been bugging Madison all day. I'm like, I really need a massage. Then she's like, what if we go tonight? And so we found somewhere that will take both of us tonight. So we'll see.
Love it. And then you said we could get islands after.
Yep.
Can't wait.
It's
going to be so good.
A night to remember. We both really, I feel like, pushed ourselves at the gym this week. We haven't done a gym update in a while.
Wait, tell them how you maxed out of the dumbbell weights there. You've exceeded the weight that you can do. And that everyone crowded around you and cheered for you.
Okay, that feels dramatic. But the weights there, the dumbbells, we do other stuff. But for like the dumbbell rack, they go up to 75s.
Which are crazy cartoonish looking.
They're
they
big.
are so big.
You came in while I was doing them today.
Yeah.
They're big. I know. And our trainer was like telling someone else like, oh yeah, we're going to have to get some bigger weights in here. He's maxed it out. And then, so then they were like around me while I was like doing them. They're like, hell yeah.
Our trainer said to me, I think it was yesterday, because I said I heard about that. And he's like, yeah, you'll be there in no time. And I'm like, are they going to all crowd around me too? I probably weigh more than all the guys at that gym.
They're fucking hardcore. They're all like fucking boxers and shit.
I've always known, obviously, a boxer or MMA fighter are like crazy athletes, but to see it, because it's not like a boxing gym that has like classes and like...
It's not like kickboxing or something. It's like fucking...
Like a real deal thing. You know what I love though so much are those little like diaper things they have to wear to protect their like...
padding.
I think it's so cute. I'm like, you're like a little baby. It's so cute.
Oh my God, I love it. We have a new little like filming setup going on right now.
Yes.
And I love it. So comfortable.
We bought a little like love seat and we got it back to Spencer's. It came in a box. And so we were like, oh, we're going to have to put the legs on. And remember, we could not find the legs.
You guys, we opened it up and pulled it out. I was like, oh yeah, like this is going to be easy. You just got to screw the legs on. And I said, where are the legs? Where are her legs?
Where are the legs? It looked like a diner, like booth that you eat in because it didn't have any legs.
I know.
God.
But we found them. They were zipped up inside of her, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, super smart.
Talented.
But yeah, not everyone can get their legs inside of them.
Yeah, girl.
Good for her. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Okay, I have exciting news that you already know about because I already told you, but Cisco surprised me with one of those bird feeders that has a camera. You know this. I'm trying to like turn my yard into just like a bird sanctuary. I have little hummingbird houses, hummingbird feeders. Now I have bird seed everywhere, and we're just waiting on a bird to come because they haven't yet, but I'll give updates. I know hummingbird feeders are controversial. I wash mine thoroughly.
This is what gets
every
us
other day. I know. I wash mine, every other day because it gets sticky, and I'll take them away before winter comes so they don't freeze and all of that. But today I was walking the dogs and there was this big crow that like kind of kept following us. And so I stopped. I talked to the crow because they're so smart. And I was like, hey, if you want to come back to my house, I'll feed you. And I kept saying, come on. come on. Well, a couple hours later, I'm getting ready to come over to your house, and I hear all this banging on the roof. Okay. And we have a skylight in our shower. And so I'm in the bathroom, like blow drying my hair, but this banging's so loud I can hear it. And so I'm like, what is that? So I get into the shower and like look up. Who is it?
The crow.
A big fat crow. We also had a baby possum in our backyard.
Yes.
And Cisco and I were on ladders and had oven mitts on for like 20 minutes trying to get this thing.
She's gonna get bit. She's gonna get bit by something.
I've been bit by a horse.
Remember a girl came to our live show and she had rabies?
Oh, yeah. She told us that after we hugged her.
I hope she's okay.
I know.
Hope you're okay out there.
I'm sure she's fine.
Do you remember the story? I don't remember what happened.
I don't know, actually. I don't remember.
Write in, please, if you're still listening to us.
Oh, a Geoff wrote in with a really interesting article.
Let's hear it.
Okay, because it goes along with, we've done a whole episode on this, and you'll know, we find it really fascinating no matter what you believe. But it says, hey hotties and your furry cutie patooties. I am at work right now, but I had to send you this, which I love. Someone at work just doing the Lord's work, sending us some stuff. I love you guys so much, Kate in Texas. And it's an MSN article, but for some reason I can't pull it up on my iPad. So I found another article on it on NBC News. This is from this week. It says, psychologist becomes first person in Peru to die by euthanasia after years-long court fight.
I think I saw something about this, but I didn't read the story. I have no idea.
Okay. It says, Ana Estrada fought successfully in court to obtain the right to decide when to end her life with the help of medical professionals. This is in Lima, Peru. A Peruvian psychologist who suffered from an incurable disease that weakened her muscles and had her confined to her bed for several years died by euthanasia, becoming the first person in the country to obtain the right to die with medical assistance, her lawyer said Monday. She fought the courts for years in Peru and became a celebrity in the conservative country where euthanasia and assisted suicide are illegal. In 2022, Estrada was granted an exception by the nation's Supreme Court, which upheld a ruling by a lower court that gave Estrada the right to decide when to end her life and said that those who helped her would not be punished. Estrada became the first person to obtain the right to die with medical assistance in Peru. It goes on to say Anna's struggle for her right to die with dignity has helped to educate thousands of Peruvians about this right and the importance of defending it. It goes on, and it's a longer article, but I think it's great. Obviously, not the dying part, but I mean, we've talked about this so much. Having an incurable disease that had her bedridden and like so much control taken away from her. I think it's amazing to be able to at least have control over that.
100%. I agree.
So good for Peru.
Good for Peru. Good for you, Peru. I also saw something the other day about someone was like allowed to do it because of like mental health.
Oh, like along the lines of like depression?
Yeah, that feels more controversial to me though.
That does. But there are some people that like have incurable depression.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
I know. I just feel like that is more...
That's probably going to be harder to pass, I'd assume.
Yeah. God. Crazy. And speaking of crazy, I've got some wild Am I the Assholes today. One has nothing to do with our show, but the other one does, so I'll read that one first.
Okay.
It says, Am I the asshole for taking legal action against my stepmom after she tried to screw me out of my dad's money?
Okay.
Let me take you back to when my dad remarried after my mom passed away when I was a teenager. I had hoped my new stepmom would bring some happiness into our lives, but boy, was I wrong. From the beginning, she showed clear favoritism towards her own kids and treated me and my siblings like crap. It was frustrating and hurtful, especially as I was still grieving the loss of my mom. Which I'm like, come on, stepmom. Like, how could you be that cold to like know that these children lost their mom and then swoop in and not be like a somewhat loving figure? Like, you don't have to be their mom.
Yeah.
A loving figure.
She's like continuing that evil stepmom
trope,
you know?
They said instead of blending our family, she created divides and made us feel unwelcome in our own home. As the years went by, our relationship only got worse. She would constantly criticize me, belittle my choices, and undermine my confidence. I felt like I was always walking on eggshells around her, trying to earn any semblance of respect or acknowledgement. When my dad suddenly passed away, it was a devastating blow. Dealing with his death was tough enough, but then the real drama started during the estate settlement. My stepmom wasted no time in presenting us with a revised will that left me and my siblings with next to nothing, while she and her children stood to inherit everything. Something didn't sit right with me, so I sought legal advice. The lawyer discovered that the will had been tampered with. My stepmom had manipulated it to exclude us unfairly and secure the lion's share of the inheritance for herself and her kids. Confronting her about it was like talking to a brick wall. She didn't give a damn about my dad's wishes. All she cared about was her own gain. Fueled by a mix of anger, betrayal, and a deep desire to honor my dad's memory, I decided to take her to court. The legal battle was brutal, dragging on for months and costing a small fortune. My stepmom fought tooth and nail trying to discredit me and paint me as the villain. The strain on family relationships was immense. Some relatives accused me of stirring up drama and suggested I should have let it go to avoid further conflict. But to me, it was about justice and standing up for what was rightfully ours. Finally, after a grueling legal process, the court ruled in our favor. The judge declared the manipulated will invalid and ordered my stepmom to return what she had wrongfully taken. It was a hard-fought victory, but the aftermath was far from easy. The fallout from the legal battle took a toll on everyone involved. It strained relationships, caused emotional distress, and left me financially drained. Despite the challenges, I don't regret my decision to fight for what was rightfully mine and my siblings. Looking back, I often wonder if there could have been a better way to handle the situation. Should I have tried to reason with my stepmom first instead of jumping straight into a legal battle? Was there a way to preserve family harmony while seeking justice? So, Reddit, am I the asshole for taking legal action against my stepmom to reclaim what was rightfully mine and protect my dad's legacy, even if it caused significant turmoil within the family?
Absolutely not. You are not the asshole. You can't reason with people that are unreasonable.
Sneaky
Yeah.
little assholes like your stepmom are not going to sit there and be like, all right, how can we make this fair?
No.
She knew what she was fucking doing. I would take her to court too and sue the shit out of her.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if there was no financial gain from it, just to have recorded proof of their assholery.
Yep.
Now, this one just sent me into a tizzy.
Okay. Oh, no.
I was pissed because you know that, like, one of my pet peeves is just cheapness.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking stand it. It says, am I the asshole for not wanting to pay my friend for wine they brought over when I cooked them dinner?
What?
My friend and I made plans to hang out and cook dinner together. I ended up buying the groceries for the meal and cooked everything before they came over. I was missing one minor ingredient, tomato paste, and asked them to grab it. They also brought some wine, which they mentioned while hanging out was their cheap go-to. After they left, I got a Venmo request from them to pay back half of the wine and the tomato paste.
Oh my God.
It's not a huge amount of money, but am I the asshole for thinking it's sort of ridiculous to Venmo me for this after I bought all the food and cooked? For context, this person is going through a tougher patch financially, and I don't want to be insensitive to that, but I also routinely give them free wine and snacks when they come over, and I feel a little taken advantage of. I also would have felt more okay with it if they had just asked or communicated this to me while hanging out in person rather than just sending a Venmo.
You are not the asshole. There have been times in my life where I have lived off of nothing. And there's still, that's something you don't do. You don't go if you're really in that mindset, or you say, hey, I need a little help. I know, I'm so sorry to have to ask you this, but no.
The friend
that's
who's
wild.
broke should have either not brought wine at all, or you don't bring something to somebody's fucking house expecting them to pay you for it. The tomato paste, probably what, 99 cents?
Yeah.
Go.
Well, probably like $4 now with how groceries are, but
God. Still, regardless, this friend cooked and made you dinner. Always is the one entertaining, it sounds like.
and you sat there and happily ate what she cooked for you, and you can't contribute even a little bit. I hate that.
You know what you should do, is the person who wrote that? You should
Calculate.
do it, pay them, calculate how much you paid for the meal that you cooked, and then Venmo request them for that, or be like, hey, I'm sending you the difference. or I'm billing you the difference.
Yeah.
You also use my bathroom, so I'm actually going to also charge you for that water.
If you really want to start fucking tit for tat things, I hate that. And I'm pretty frugal. You know how I am.
Yup.
Like, I would never do something like that.
No.
That's insane.
Insane
That
behavior.
pisses me off.
Yeah. I know, I read it and I was just like, that's fucking
Oh my
nuts.
God, I just exposed my whole undercarriage.
We'll blur it. Well, you're up first this week.
Which means you've got some more talking to do.
I do. Okay, I love my side bitch this week. This one was DM'd to us, and it says, Teresa Marie Barnes and later Giesbrecht, a.k.a. Terry or Terry Marie, called it a day on March 1st of 2024, permanently signing off from work and life's banalities. Teresa passed suddenly in her sleep at the auspicious age of 48. While life expectancy for Canadian women is 84, Teresa decided to mix things up, transposing the numbers 8 and 4. Well done, Therese. We didn't expect that. Teresa was born in Vancouver on August 4th of 1975 and lived much of her life in Kamloops and passed in Logan Lake, where her service will be held. And then it has her survived by, and like the funeral information, but I loved it. Called it a day.
It's so witty.
And lighthearted.
Yeah.
And like, obviously somebody dying at the age of 48 is tragic.
That tells me that she probably had such a good sense of humor in life, and I feel like they honored it with that.
Yeah.
That's
I feel
great.
Like it would make the loved ones laugh a little.
Yeah. Short and sweet, too.
Short and sweet.
Well.
Alrighty. Well, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear what had you spinning in your coffin.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, actually, I wasn't spinning in my coffin.
Oh.
I was spinning in my sarcophagus.
Ooh.
First of all, I know we say it so much, but seriously, we could start off researching for an episode one subject and then it completely change into something else, which is what happened to me this week. I was going to talk about something else, but then kind of pivoted to this. I stumbled upon a company called Summum. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like a financial institution.
It's an institution, okay?
Okay.
They are regarded as the only organization in the world that still offers mummification as a means of preservation.
Oh, shit.
Actually, their website says, quote, a revival. Once again, mummification is available.
Oh, bring it back. Bring it back.
A very thorough, detailed, yet gentle process that allows one to be memorialized for eternity. Mummification is the only, in all caps and bold, form of permanent preservation. And before I looked through their entire website and researched like the back history, I was like, is this just extreme embalming? Because we've seen that before, but no, it's legit mummification that takes a lot of things from like ancient Egyptian mummification. And so it's legit, you become a mummy. So the backstory, which is actually fucking wild, Spencer, and I hope to God that it doesn't end up as a cult leader episode one day, but you'll see what I mean.
Well, I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
But sure, I take your word for it. I really trust you.
You will. Good. I trust you too. But after this, you're going to be like, what the fuck? So this organization was founded based on one man's weird encounter with basically aliens. This man's,
Here we fucking go.
Here we fucking go. This man's name is Claude Noel. His nicknames are Corky Raw or Corky King. So I'm probably going to refer to him as Corky throughout this episode. He's also been called the father of modern mummification.
Ooh, love him.
So a little backstory on him. Corky was born in 1944 in Salt Lake City, Utah, but he and his family actually moved to California when he was a young boy, and we know a lot of people from this area. He lived in Tustin for much of his preteen.
Oh, we know Tustin.
Yeah, preteen and teen life, and then went to Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa. He eventually did move back to Utah to attend Brigham Young University and the University of Utah.
And is this where he met the aliens?
No. Yes, he was in Utah, but I think he was done with school by the
Okay.
time he met the aliens. So in 1975 was when he had his encounter with these advanced beings, he called them. At this point, he was married, had 2 kids, and was part of the Mormon church. And he lived in a beautiful neighborhood with great views and was just, living the life. He had a good job. When he would get home from work as a manager for a supply company, he would greet his family, but loved to unwind in his home's den. I read through the whole website and all of his writings on this subject. So this is me prefacing his story. So he would go to the den and relax. He would just sit on the floor with his back against a wall. He'd close his eyes and he would completely zone out and just be in a total state of relaxation. One day he noticed ringing in his ears, and that ringing would continue to persist, but it didn't seem to bother him. Every time he did it, he just kind of recalls following the noise with his mind. This meditation relaxation thing he was doing started in 1974, and by 1975 he was divorced.
Okay.
He says he and his wife just viewed things so differently. And I'm like, yeah, because you get home and sit in the den all night, fucking meditating. Anyway, he continued his relaxation until one day he opened his eyes and he was standing next to a pyramid. He thought someone had maybe slipped him a hallucinogenic drug or that he was losing his mind, but he also wasn't scared.
Okay.
So he's standing next to a pyramid now. He walks around the pyramid. There were other structures around. He could walk through walls. It was just, It was a great experience. He then sees these beautiful humans, but he describes them as humans, but also not human, and that they were incredibly attractive. I also have read that they were blue and didn't have hair. He said that they pulled a crystal out of a floor and used it for communication.
And is he claiming that he did this without the use of hallucinogenics or anything?
No, it was just relaxation. It was him.
I've never been that relaxed.
I know. Hopefully we are later.
Yeah, we'll let you know if we start pulling crystals from the floor, but if we do, my sobriety is probably
Imagine
over.
our masseuses walk in and they're
they're
blue and bald.
Yeah.
Hi, perfect. We're here. So basically, he had a few visits to this place during his meditative states, and he learned a ton of information from these beings who he described as heavenly beings, and then he referred to them as Summa individuals, which is where the summum name comes from.
Okay.
I guess summa in Latin means higher being or more educated or something. I don't know.
Sure.
He began to realize that he was the chosen one and needed to spread the Summa individuals' beliefs.
Yes.
Which are these principles of nature and a grand principle of creation and basic teachings of Jesus, to name a few. I don't know. I watched a whole hour interview on it.
So, sorry, question. Does Summum, the group, exist without him? Is he the first person?
Yeah, he started it.
Okay.
He started it. In 1978, he starts constructing a big-ass pyramid in downtown Salt Lake City. And it's still there. It's on an acre of land, and it's the Summum compound, but it's literally in downtown Salt Lake City. So we probably drove by it when we were there on tour. And I think it's kind of in an industrial area, just random.
Okay.
So he built this pyramid to use it as a winery because he was going to be producing wine for different, it was a sacramental wine called Summa Soma Nectar. And that's kind of how he got past the strict alcohol laws in Salt Lake City. And this thing that I watched on it, his followers that he eventually gained, they'd take a shot of alcohol while they meditate.
So it was part of their religious...
Yes.
It was probably a religious exemption to get approved for it.
Exactly. By 1980, he changes his name to Summum Bonum Amon Ra.
Sure.
Okay.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yes. So then he goes and gets his funeral director license because he is I have to reintroduce mummification onto this earth, which brings me to the mummification part
I
of this
like
whole
almost
thing.
forgot that was your topic because I'm so fascinated by this guy and this story.
It's so bizarre. And when I was doing it, I'm like, God, should I send this to Spencer? Is this a cult leader? But then there's this whole, mummification company that he
Let's
has.
hear it.
Okay. So their website explains, quote, in mummification, the preserved body serves as a reference point for your essence, a home base, if you will, that allows communication of instructions to help guide you to your new destination. This can alleviate much of the fear, anxiety, and confusion that you would normally experience. It later says, quote, modern mummification has much to offer us. Not only does it provide an alternative to current burial methods, which accomplish little more than sanitary disposal of the deceased, it provides a burial of distinction and a heightening of our cultural standards. It allows us to experience facets of life unknown to most people. Mummification is such a profound and exact science. Its reemergence may very well change the course of contemporary humankind and elevate us to levels once occupied by our ancestors. So he wanted to push this mummification because he believed basically what I just said. Your body is still here, but it's kind of like a home base, and they're going to help you transition to the other side.
Okay.
Summum is considered a nonprofit organization that the IRS actually designated as a church. So I guess it's considered a religion, even though he is quoted as saying like he never wanted that. He refers to it as a philosophy. And then because modern mummification, that business falls under this, it's also tax exempt, which is wild because I don't think funeral homes are tax exempt.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
something we should look into.
Know that.
Okay, so their mummification process. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be part of the summum philosophy. So let's say you die. And you've chosen to be mummified by the summums. If you have plans for a traditional funeral and viewing, no matter what religion you are or belief system you are, you'd be able to still do all of that and then have a funeral home perform everything they need to prepare you for it. Then the funeral home will communicate with the summum compound and they'll transport you to summum. Once you've arrived at the summum compound, which I have to reiterate is in downtown Salt Lake City, and it's like this industrial area with a huge pyramid sitting on the property. First, they perform something called the rites of transference, which is some kind of ceremony that helps you transition. You are then cleaned up, bathed, and then it's time to take out your organs. Your organs are taken out to be cleaned, and then they put them back inside of you, but they leave the incision open where they cut to take your organs out because then they place you into a tank of chemicals, and they explain it as almost like a baptism. You're immersed in this liquid, and the rites of transference are still happening. After your body has sat for a while and is completely penetrated by all of these chemicals, you're taken out and then you're lotioned up. Then you're wrapped literally like a mummy with gauze, followed by a coating of polyurethane membrane, which like creates a film, and then fiberglass and resin. I saw pictures, like you look like an Egyptian mummy. Then you got to go visit the pyramid to finish your rites of transference. So they take you to the pyramid while you're all wrapped in that gauze. Then a sarcophagus is cast of you and sculpted for you. The finished thing can be made of bronze or steel, and then it's welded shut around you. They also offer to do a life mask of your face. I prefer the term death mask because that's what it is. And this whole process takes a minimum of 90 days. So it's a long process. Yeah. You do have the option to rest in their mummy sanctuary that I believe is on that property, but you're also free to be buried in any cemetery or mausoleum of your choosing as long as the temperatures don't drop below freezing where you are, or temperatures don't go above 60 degrees, which I believe you can bypass if you're buried deep enough or in like a temperature controlled mausoleum. They also offer all of these services for animals. as well. And I'll post pictures because they have a bunch of pictures of this whole process. But I watched a bunch of interviews and videos on this, and there are quite a few animals who have had this done. But there's only been one human who has had this done, Corky himself.
Oh.
He died in 2008, and his team mummified him, and he sits in the pyramid at the Sumum compound next to his cat, who is also mummified. And they showed him in these. You can go visit too.
I would do it maybe.
Okay, so some of the reasons why I think more people haven't done this is the cost. Animals start at, I think, about $8,000, and humans start at $67,000. So it's a lot of money. Also,
Not for a 90-day experience.
That's true. That's true. And they help you like go to the other side.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
Well, I do too, but then there's this. So you must draft a spiritual will, and your family has to sign a body release, and then you have to sign over your power of attorney to them of your dead body. So kind of freaks me out. That part I'm like, oh God, and the cost. So, but they're still up and running. I don't think they've done any other humans, but they have done quite a few animals, which look really cool.
Hot dog, do you want to go to the...
Get a little
Do you wanna go to the
sarcophagus.
pyramid? I would love to see her in a... Well, not until her time, but I would love to see her in a little sarcophagus.
Oh, beautiful. But you can go and take a tour of the place. And I heard everybody's really nice and normal. Like it's not, it gives me big time cult vibes, but I don't think any like scandals have come out. So yeah. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and
So in
sign away your life.
You summed it up real nicely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Sure is
you.
something. I think it's cool.
I do too.
I do feel like on some level, mummification should be more of a casual option.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think we should start our own mummification company.
Perfect. Competitors. You thought you were the only ones in the world? Oh, we're going to do it.
You guys can trust us. We would be so respectful mummifying your bodies.
Absolutely.
I think we should really look into this.
Okay.
Seems like an untapped market, if you ask me.
I am building a pyramid in my backyard, so
Yeah.
we could do that.
Perfect. Speaking of, I just went down a rabbit hole on the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas.
Oh, is this a cult leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for like a little leader, it's one of the largest pyramids in the world.
Oh, it's a pyramid.
Yes.
Okay.
Supposedly it's haunted.
Uh-huh.
There's like two known poltergeists there. One's a blonde woman, and if you dream about her, she's like, you feel like she's strangling you.
Cool.
And then there's another one that they call like the metallic noise or whatever, and it like makes a crazy noise at 8:30 in the morning. But I was dying because I was reading Yelp reviews of that mentioned hauntings, and people would be like, oh, this place is haunted and blah blah blah. But the buffet was great. I was just, like, dying. But
Are they still open? And
yeah.
we should go stay there.
I mean, after reading, they also people talked about cockroaches and stuff and vomit in their rooms, so I don't know how inclined I am.
Okay.
There is a clown motel outside of Vegas that I've always wanted to see, though.
You know what? I know someone, I think, who has stayed there.
I want to go.
Okay.
We should go.
We should.
And I want to go like Area 50. You know what? We should actually drive next time we go to Vegas so we can like do all the things.
Yes, and then we also have to visit the testing site for nuclear bombs because I think they have...
It's a must.
Yes, and then they have a spy museum for you.
And they have the mob museum.
We got to go for like a week.
We got to go to Vegas, guys. Goodbye. Just kidding.
Viva Las Vegas.
We're going to make our own travel guide. The obituary travel guide.
Would you guys like that? What if we filmed the whole thing? Maybe for Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Film like it would have to be multi-day.
It would have to be.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to start planning our trip. And when we come back, we'll tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week. We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, Madison, my coffin was stinky as hell this week.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, I went down a rabbit hole learning all about putridariums.
What?
Yeah, so this actually, I was just scrolling on Twitter and I saw the word putridarium and I was like, what the fuck is that? There's some crazy story attached that I think was like an exaggeration. So I was like, I want to look into the real history behind this.
Okay.
So a putridarium is often found in underground crypts, was a temporary burial site primarily used for the decomposition of bodies, particularly for monks or nuns. The bodies were placed in wall niches, seated on masonry chairs with a central hole that allowed bodily fluids to drain into a vessel below.
They were sat?
Yes.
Okay.
The process allowed for the flesh to decompose completely, leaving only the bones, which were then collected, cleaned, and stored in an ossuary, which we're going to talk about soon. I have an idea for a double episode.
Okay.
Which is a container or room in which bones of the deceased are placed. The quote-unquote masonry chairs look like a cave toilet to me. I don't have a more eloquent way to describe
What's
them.
a cave toilet?
So basically, they're seated on these.
Oh, it does. It's a cave toilet.
It's literally like, picture you guys. I mean, we'll post obviously a picture of it, but literally it's almost as if it was like a toilet carved into a cave and they would sit them on these and just let everything kind of fall out until they were bones.
Oh my God.
So an example of a putridarium can be seen at the Poor Clares Convent Cemetery at Castello Aragonese in Ischia, Italy. So it's this castle, basically. And this castle itself is incredible. It sits atop a volcanic islet, which is connected to the main island of Ischia. It was first built in 474 BC.
Old.
It's gone through a ton of different constructions. It's not the castle that stands today. It's not the same one that was built back then. But it reminded me too, I saw someone, I think it was on TikTok or something, say the other day, like, you don't realize how fucking new America is until you're in Europe. And it's like,
yes,
this shit has been here for...
One of our friends the other day was making fun of us how we pronounce cities and countries and stuff. And they're just so old. Like
yeah, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about that. I mean, I get it. Like, I always try and look things up. And
of
I mean,
course.
Sometimes, though, there's like crazy pronunciations online that you're like, that's not. And you see comments that are like, that's not the right way to say it.
Or pronunciation.com doesn't have it or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, sometimes we're winging it, babe.
Or I'll know how to say it right. And I did my research and then I still fuck it up.
Yeah.
So.
But also, okay, if everyone in the world was sitting around and you're like, oh, pronounce this. Or like had to list off random towns they'd never heard of or cities, they'd get some wrong.
Yeah.
Please. Anyway, around the year 1700, there were 2,000 families living on this islet.
Okay. What's an islet?
Okay, so say there's like an island.
Okay.
There's a little like offshoot of it.
Oh.
That's an islet.
Oh, cute. It's like lit, like a little, like a chicklet.
Watch, I'm not even saying islet right. It's like, it's lit. No, I think I'm right. So there was like 2,000 families living there, including the Poor Clares Convent. And in 1912, the castle itself was sold to a private owner.
Okay.
Which, like, goals. I mean, if you told me you can go live in this old as hell castle just by yourself.
Mm-hmm. On a little islet?
Send me.
Oh my God, send me.
Well, maybe I'd want to bring a hot dog and a lover.
Ooh.
But I wanted to learn more about this Poor Clare Convent Cemetery and its relation to putridariums. So I want to share an article from Atlas Obscura. And it says, quote, in the 17th century, it became home, talking about the island, to a convent of an order of nuns called the Poor Clares. In the underground cemetery of the Poor Clares, you can see the remains of a gruesome tradition. When a nun died, her lifeless body was placed in a sitting position on a stone chair with a hole in it and left to mummify. The body slowly decomposed and the liquids were collected in special vessels under the seats. The skeletons were later collected in an ossuary. Every day, the still living nuns visited the death chairs to pray and meditate on death and the ephemeral earthly life.
Oh, wow.
Spending several hours in such an unhealthy place, the nuns often contracted serious illnesses, which in some cases were deadly.
Okay.
Aragonese Castle was shelled during the Napoleonic Wars and abandoned soon after before briefly becoming a prison until 1860. The stone seats of Poor Clare Cemetery can still be visited when exploring the castle. I was trying to figure out, because there were several references in the initial tweet I saw about this, and in some like articles that I found, they talked about collecting the liquids of the nuns. And I was like,
For what?
well, that's what I wanted to know. And I couldn't nail an exact answer. I was like, maybe it was one of those situations, because this is also the time when like, well, it predates it, but like when public executions were happening and stuff, and they would...
Were they doing something freaky with it to try to help ailments or something?
Well, I couldn't find an exact answer for this, but that question itself led me down another rabbit hole, and I
Okay.
learned something unsettling. So there's this website called Quartz, and it says the history of pharmaceuticals is full of chance encounters and quirky events. Alexander Fleming stumbled across penicillin when it grew as a mold in his messy lab. Viagra was intended to treat hypertension before researchers noticed certain side effects.
Ooh.
But perhaps no drug has as peculiar an origin story as Pergonal, a hormonal fertility treatment responsible for millions of babies.
Oh.
Piero Donini, a scientist working in the late 1940s for the Italian pharmaceutical company that would later be known as Serrano, was the first to extract and purify FSH and LH, the hormones that stimulate ovulation. The hormones are found in women's urine, which is why pregnancy tests can be conducted on urine samples.
Oh, yeah, the HCG, right? Yeah.
After experimenting with urine from pregnant women, Domini discovered the highest levels of the hormone actually were in postmenopausal women. After menopause, when ovaries stop producing eggs, FSH and LH shoot up as the body tries to stimulate their production. Donini called this new substance Pergonal after the Italian pergonati, or from the gonads, and speculated that it could be used to treat infertility. But while Donini had a drug, he didn't have a market or method of producing it. His paper announcing the discovery languished in obscurity during A Tale of Two Hormones, a 1996 book published by Serrano about the drug. It wasn't until a decade later that scientists exploring infertility heard of Donini's work, and he was contacted by Bruno Lunenfeld, a Vienna-born Israeli-educated medical student working in Geneva who was researching the use of human hormones to stimulate pregnancy. Linenfeld made a case to Serrano's executives for producing enough of the drug to run a clinical trial. One problem: the drug would require thousands of gallons of urine from menopausal women. The young Linenfeld went before Serrano's board of directors to lobby for the drug. As he later told the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, I, just a kid, had to stand before the board of directors and ask them to help us find 400 menopausal women that would agree to collect their urine daily. I gave my lecture and they all applauded politely, and then the chairman of the board got up and said, very nice, but we are a drug factory, not a urinal factory. And I ran out crying.
That's incredible.
Lunenfeld, the son of a prominent Jewish family from Austria, said his interest in infertility was motivated in part by the need of Jews to replenish their population after the Holocaust. He was then introduced by a Serrano executive to Giulio Pacelli, an Italian aristocrat and the nephew of Pope Pius VII. Pacelli, a Serrano board member, took an interest in Lunenfeld's work and after additional meetings returned with Lunenfeld to speak with the board of directors. Prince Pacelli gave the exact same speech I had given 10 days earlier, but at the end he added one sentence. My uncle Pope Pius has decided to help us and to ask the nuns in the old age home to collect urine daily for a sacred cause.
Wow.
That convinced the board of directors immediately to help our research project with no money and resources. I later discovered that the Vatican owned 25% of Serrano. Soon, tanker trucks were hauling the pee of hundreds of nuns from Catholic retirement homes across Italy to Serrano's headquarters in Rome. It took about 10 nuns 10 days to produce enough urine for one treatment. While the urine of any postmenopausal woman would work, nuns provided Serrano with an extra advantage. Because hormones from the pregnant women would contaminate the batch, it was critical there be no chance the women were pregnant. Working with nuns improved the odds.
Oh.
In 1960, 1962, a woman treated by London Field with Pergonal in Tel Aviv gave birth to a baby girl, the first child born from the treatment. Within 2 years, another 20 pregnancies had been achieved with Pergonal, and by the mid-1980s, demand had grown so that Serrano needed 30,000 liters a day to produce sufficient quantities of the drug. With shortages appearing, the company began to synthesize the hormones in labs, and the resulting treatment, Gonal F, was first approved in 1995. Serrano was acquired in 2007 by Merck, which continues to produce the drug today.
Whoa.
Isn't that interesting?
That is nuts.
And then lastly, to end, in a similar vein to putridariums, we have rotting rooms.
Oh, Lord.
And
What's
rotting
that?
So a rotting room, such as the Royal Rotting Room at El Escorial in Spain, were spaces specifically designed for the decomposition of royal bodies. King Philip II, who was preoccupied with themes of death, designed the rooms in order to allow royal bodies to decompose naturally before the bones were moved for final burial. This process facilitated a cleaner and more complete separation of flesh from bone, a crucial step before the remains were interred in the royal crypts. The concept highlights a period-specific approach to handling and venerating royal remains within the context of religious and the cultural practices of the time.
Wow. Rotting room. That should be the name of this episode.
Rock Girl Summer. How about that? Let's have a Rock Girl Summer.
Yes. My bedroom is the rotting room.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I rot away in that
She
thing.
is rotting.
Wow. Well, thank you. I love a cave toilet. Never heard
yeah.
of that before.
Uh-huh.
But just knew instantly when you showed me the picture. Really cool.
It made sense, right? Cave toilet's the best description.
Cave toilet. Absolutely.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, should we get into the obit?
Let's do it. That is part of this.
That is
Every week.
a big part of this.
The biggest part of it.
Yes. Okay. I have one that I just found online by myself.
Good job.
This is for Burl. People always say, treat your body like a temple. I say, it's an amusement park, so enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Burl, a resident of Oklahoma, passed away peacefully on April 6th, 2024, at the home of his dear friend and beloved caregiver, Natasha, surrounded by her loving family. He was 82 years old. Born on June 14th, 1941 in Oklahoma, Burl held a special place in his heart for his birthday, believing the American flag waved for him on that day. His mother, Faye, predeceased him, as did his father, Burl Sr. He is survived by his 2 children. He leaves behind 3 cherished grandchildren. He's also survived by his eldest sister, his other older sister, also predeceased Burl. Burl was fortunate enough to have been married 5 times in his lifetime. All of his wives have previously departed through either death or divorce court. Burl's life was a rich tapestry woven with diverse experiences. After graduating high school in Oklahoma, he was given the opportunity to serve in the U.S. Army or go to jail. He chose the former. Once discharged, he then went on to work in the oil fields across the southern United States. Burl's academic pursuits led him to college and then to law school. He practiced as a defense attorney with one failed attempt to join the other side when he ran for the office of district attorney in southeastern Oklahoma. However storied, Burl's legal career was cut short by his own incarceration. His experience of living on both sides of the law shaped his perspective. He considered himself a legal expert, even continuing paralegal work after his disbarment and release. These adventures fueled his spirit and provided him with a wealth of tales, some undoubtedly involving Willie Nelson, Leonard Skinner, and a variety of outlaws that stretched from Oklahoma all the way to Mexico. Politically liberal with a good old boy's soul, Burl was a mischievous spirit who never lost his zest for life. He continued to raise hell right up until his last breath, entertaining those around him with his stories and charm. A natural storyteller and entertainer, Burl possessed an undeniable charisma. He was fond of women, and many women cherished him in return. He never successfully sold that house he shared with that bitch ex-wife.
Oh, shit. I love it. Goodbye, Burl.
I love it. I love that they expose him that he's not perfect.
Uh-huh.
But then also you kind of love Burl.
Yeah.
So there you go. Who do you got?
Okay, I have a joint obituary.
Oh.
This is also one I just stumbled across randomly in an old newspaper archive. It's for Roy and Nira Snow. It starts out, Nira Leona Snow went to be with the Lord on Sunday, June 15th, 2014 at the age of 79. She was born on January 16th, 1935 in Porham, Oklahoma to her parents Lloyd Irvin and Laura Lasley.
Okay.
Roy Snow Sr. went to be with the Lord and his wife on Thursday, June 19th, 2014 at the age of 84, 4 days after his wife Nira Snow passed away.
Aww.
He was born on August 4th of 1929 in Mysterious Mountains, Oklahoma, to his parents Charlie and Mary Snow. At the young age of 14, Nira met Roy Snow Sr., who was 21 years old, and they fell in love, which is, it's one of those stories that wouldn't happen. Like, I feel like, how they always say grandparents' generation is so like, yeah, your grandfather stood outside of my office for 21 days.
Yeah, he stalked me.
To marry him. They got married in Tulsa, Oklahoma on November 23rd of 1949 and started a family of 7 children. They were married for a total of 64 years.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Incredible.
Nira was a very loving mother and sister to her siblings. Along with raising her children, she helped to raise her siblings, and they moved to the Visalia area in 1955 and settled down and stayed for the next 60 years of her life. Roy was a wonderful father and provider, and he accepted the responsibility of raising with Nira her siblings without a second of hesitation, which is so sweet. Roy was a very compassionate man. He helped anyone and everyone who needed food, shelter, or a loan to help you get back on your feet. He never met a stranger, and Nira was a very talented mother who sewed clothes for her family, and her cooking was very delicious. Everyone loved her chocolate gravy and biscuits, amongst the other dishes she served. She was a hardworking woman, great work ethic, with a passion to succeed no matter what she was doing, and held down many different jobs in her lifetime. She worked at Vintage Press Restaurant for 24 years, Walmart for 9 years, just to name a few. Roy worked most of his life in his own business. He was a self-starter, hardworking, successful man. He owned and ran Roy's iron and metal business and made a lot of friends and did what he had to do to provide for his family. Nira Snow will be remembered for her love of her family, her strong work ethics, her willingness to help others, her storytelling of the past with lots of details like reading a book and placing you there. She was genuinely admired, respected, and loved by many. Roy Snow will be remembered for the love of his family, the compassion he had for everything, and his wonderful sense of humor. He was always pulling pranks on us kids. He liked and collected the funny singing and dancing characters, which we loved buying for him to watch him crack up laughing. He loved to make people laugh. He was loved by many and will be missed by all. And then it has all their survived bys. But I loved they died. That's like a death by broken heart.
Absolutely.
4 days apart.
4 days apart.
I can only wish the same for us.
And beautiful.
There they are.
I love a love story.
Little cuties. Kind of looks like Bob.
My sister's
dad.
Yeah, I was going to say my sister's boyfriend. Sister's dad. Oh my gosh.
Well, we spun in our sarcophaguses.
Oh my gosh, we have bitched our sweet little obituaries.
That means it's time for some dumb
ass criminals.
Who you got?
Okay, I have a short but sweet one. The headline got me, and just picturing it, I think is hilarious.
I'm trying to look.
Well, you see the mugshot.
Sad.
This is from KGNSnews.tv, baby.
Ooh, we love TV. Big fans.
Yes. A deputy says he found a man having sex with a stuffed animal in a rocking vehicle. Baxter County, Arkansas. This is from October 17th, 2023. A 55-year-old Arkansas man faces drug and sexual indecency charges after a deputy says he spotted him having sex with a stuffed animal. A judge found probable cause to charge 55-year-old Theodore Morgavin III with possession of a controlled substance, which was meth, furnishing, possession, or using prohibited articles, possession of drug paraphernalia, and public sexual indecency. So I guess this cop is driving by, sees a car just rocking.
He's like, oh, people are fucking.
People
the windows are all steamed up.
Yes, and turns out it was a man with a stuffed animal.
I was like, I mean, better than a fucking real animal. Oh my
I mean-
God. Let him get his rocks off. I was wondering why he got arrested, but then the drugs make sense.
Then the meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A little methy.
Little
Can't do
methy.
that. Okay, I have one that was sent to us from a Geoff, and they wrote to
Okay.
us and said, oh my God, I love your podcast. Well, it was probably, oh my God. I love your podcast. It has helped me get over some dark grief I've had. My middle daughter, forever 21, Sam the Unicorn, passed away in December of 2022.
Oh.
Your podcast has helped lighten up respectfully aspects of death for me in a way that reaches me through humor. So here is a dumbass criminal from my area. Keep doing what you're doing, Rachel.
I'm sorry.
So sorry for your loss. And Rachel, you're definitely giving the humor back to us. Leave the email there because I got to get into this currently unfolding story.
Okay.
Honey, there is trouble happening at the Northview Cemetery in Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh no, we've been to Michigan.
We've got a booty bandit, okay?
A booty bandit.
He is squatting and squirting all over that cemetery, sweetheart.
What?
This fecal phantom has been dropping deuces for months. And the first call about the pooper trooper came to the Dearborn Police Department on February 25th. And as of today, there have been over 7 instances of this poopy perpetrator reporting that he has been letting the brown dog scratch out the back door. Okay, honey? He is unloosing his caboose on those headstones.
Not on the headstones.
According to a city spokeswoman, the serial pooper does not go to the same location each time and doesn't have a specific grave site. Well, the department continues to work on identifying and locating this person responsible, said the spokeswoman Katie Doyle. A source familiar with the situation said the man responsible for liquidating his assets all over the cemetery wears dark clothing and a hoodie and leaves a big mess behind, including used toilet paper, and always under the cover of darkness.
He's the grim pooper.
The grim pooper. He is reaping and weeping in that cemetery, baby.
And
I'll tell you
reeking,
what.
honey.
He ain't weeping in that cemetery. He reeking it.
What a nasty fucking bitch.
Nasty bitch. Oh, fuck. Well,
God.
if you like nastiness, maybe you should check out our book, The Big Hot Book of Death.
Available for pre-order on prh.com/obituary.
The rest of the stuff you can find on obituarypodcast.com. But that's it for this week. We'll see you next week with some P.O. Box stuff, with some more coffin spinners
And obituaries.
and
Ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.